Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So here we have my thoughts on Skyrim. Yeah, Skyrim, the new RPG from Bethesda, right? Yeah. Alright, so Skyrim. It's been like 5 years into the waiting, and I finally get it, right? Been playing it for about 2 weeks. Yeah, so I put 88 hours and 51 minutes into it. That's beating all of the quest lines, the main quests, all the side quests, doing all that stuff. I will say that I did not get all the achievements. I'm very close though. I stopped at like 800 gamer score. The only ones I'm really missing are like level 50, collecting the Daedric artifacts, like pretty much just exploration achievements at this point. So yeah, 88 hours. That's pretty long. Alright. So, as usual, I'll start off with the story, and if I approve of the story. Alright, so, it takes place 200 years after Oblivion, but, the thing about Elder Scrolls game is they aren't directly connected to each other. They're just kinda, like, loosely... They're set in the same universe, like, in the same country. So you still hear about events that happened in the previous game, and games before those games, and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So yeah, basically you are the Dragonborn, like the last Dragonborn, and you got sentenced to death or whatever. So what happens is you're falsely accused of something. You're put onto this carriage full of criminals, and you're basically being sent off to be executed. And then they figure out you're not on the list of people to be executed. So what happens is they decide to kill you anyways. And as soon as you're about to be executed, the dragons come back to life and start attacking. So, it's basically like, shit, yeah, luckily those dragons came back, otherwise I'd be dead. From there on out, basically, you can go in any direction of the story. Like I was saying a little bit ago, there's the main quest line, which is more epic, less boring missions, it's pretty awesome. And then you get the side quests, like the Dark Brotherhood, which is like a group of assassins, who is actually like on the brink of being completely destroyed in Skyrim. So they're like down to their last branch, last couple members and stuff. Pretty cool. And then you got like the Thieves Guild, which is like another guild of dying people or whatever. It's like only a couple members left. The leader's an asshole, and yeah, it's a Thieves Guild. You basically steal stuff. What else? You got the Companions, which are like the Fighters Guild, pretty much. They basically go out, kill monsters, come back and celebrate and stuff, or go to a dungeon, kill that monsters, grab an item, bring it out. And then you have the College of Winterhold, which is pretty much the Mage Guild. It's like a college for mages and people who like to study like the unknown and stuff. Yeah. You know, the quest lines, they're not as good as the main quest line, but some of them are pretty good. I mean, I like the Thieves Guild a lot just because, personally, I think that was the best one with the most like character growth, and it was the longest one too. So it actually felt like it had a purpose. When you do the Companions and the Mage Guild, I kind of felt like I was just going from quest to quest doing random stuff. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the story's not bad at all. I will say the worst thing about the story is easily the characters. The characters are really boring. Like, you get a couple here and there that are interesting, but for the most part, they're all copy-pasted RPG like archetypes. Like, oh, I'm the angry warrior guy. And then you got like the that's pretty much the only type of person in Skyrim. I mean, there are other like personality types, but none of them, they don't really talk to you too much during a mission. Like, the only character dialogue you have is usually before the mission starts and at the end of the mission. It bores the hell out of me. Like, I think when you're in a dungeon you should be having some dialogue in there too, because honestly you go from dungeon to dungeon doing the same thing. That'd be something that could set it apart from every dungeon. But nope. So yeah, like I was saying, the characters are boring. What they should have done is copy Dragon Age. Dragon Age also is like a medieval type fantasy RPG, yet somehow they're able to, they capture characters really well in that game. Like, I understand BioWare has like really good writers, but come on, Bethesda, you've been working on this game for like 6 years. They worked on Dragon Age 1 for like 2 or 3 years. So yeah. Okay, so I like the lore and stuff too, like, pretty much, like I was saying a little bit ago also, like a lot of stuff carries over from Oblivion and Morrowind and the previous games, like, all the gods are back, all the same types of armor and weapons are back with new ones, like, you know, it still goes, like, fur armor, and then, like, iron armor, and then, like, leather armor, then glass armor, then ebony, then daedric, and it's pretty cool. I like that. It reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy also reuses a lot of the lore, a lot of the same magics, a lot of the same, like, just things, like, I don't know, I like that. And the characters are boring, so, like, I don't know. That's easily the biggest fault on Bethesda's part for the story is the characters. They don't put much effort into the characters. They're still stuck in the, like, 80s era role-playing game where you just fucking roll a dice, you make your character do whatever you want. It's all seriousness and stuff. Gameplay. Oh yeah, by the way, I approve of the story. Gameplay, though. If you've played Fallout 3 and Oblivion, it's pretty much the same thing. You do a couple quests in the beginning of the game, then you're set out free into the big world. But unlike Oblivion, they take more of a Fallout approach where you can't go explore everywhere right away because there are higher level areas. So like you can't go all the way north because you're gonna get killed by like a troll probably, or something like that. So you kind of have to follow. It's not linear by any means, but you kind of have to follow a set path for a while. Like you go from the first town to the big city. From the big city, you're usually around level 10 or so. And then you can basically decide what kind of quest line you want to start. Like, I went over to Riften and did the Thieves Guild, then I did the Fighters Guild, then I did the Mages Guild, then I did the Dark Brotherhood. But you can pretty much do it in any order you want. Alright, so for those who don't know, basically what you do is, it's a big map, right? It's a huge world. You can go anywhere you want. And there's dungeons everywhere, there's towns everywhere, there's cities everywhere. Everything is populated with people, items, everything is just, it's up to 10. The dial is on 10, full of content. There's so much to do, so much everything. Like, you could just go west, right? Just go randomly west. You'll probably discover like 20 different locations. You'll probably kill like over 30 different enemies, and it's pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome experience. So what this means is basically, while exploring the world, you'll be getting quests. When you're completing quests, you're going in the dungeons usually, or cities. Like, you're finding items here, you're killing these guys, getting more experience, you're getting money. Like, you're just constantly like doing stuff, pretty much. So it's pretty cool the way that works still. And then they brought a couple new cool things in, like shouting, which is basically dragons use this type of magic where they say a word and it has a magical effect. Since you're Dragonborn, you can use these words too. It's pretty cool. I didn't really find it to be that useful though. Pretty cool. You know, you get like, basically it has its own cooldown time. It doesn't run on magicka. So like, you hit your button and there's like ones that shoot like energy out. There's ones that shoot elemental. There's a large variety of them. I personally don't use them that often. They added dual wielding, so you can dual wield like 2 swords, a sword, a mace, a sword, a staff, 2 staffs, like dagger and an axe. You can dual wield spells, which means you could also technically dual wield a sword with a spell or whatever you want. It's pretty cool because then you get certain magical things, like you can combine 2 spells to make a bigger spell. So like if you take 2 fireballs, combine it, you get a massive fireball. It's pretty sweet. I don't know, I like dual wield, it's pretty cool. Personally though, I preferred archery and magic though, so I didn't really toy around with the melee dual wielding too much. Then they added perks, which are like similar to Fallout but not quite. Basically what happens is every time you level up, you get a stat gain to your HP, your magic, or your stamina, and then what happens then is you can basically you also get a perk point, and you go to your skill tree, which is like let's say you use your one-handed weapons. That's gonna level up your one-handed skill. You use magic, you're gonna level up your whatever magic you're using. Like if you're using destruction magic, that'll level up your destruction. If you're using conjuration, that'll level up your conjuration. Yeah, so basically perk points are, you put those into those skills that you've been leveling up, and then you can get new abilities. Like let's say you leveled up conjuration to 50. You could buy a perk that would allow you to reduce the amount of magic you use to cast that spell. There's so many perks in this game, it's ridiculous. And it's pretty cool to look at them all. Alright, another cool thing is they added limitless quest. Basically, you go to a bar or a castle, talk to the person, and they'll be like, "There's a bounty out on these guys, go kill them." You gotta go kill some guys, bring it back, get some money. It's pretty cool. It basically forces you to explore the world more. They try to put it in an area where you haven't been, I noticed. So that's always helpful. But yeah, it just gives you a lot to do after you pretty much do all the quests if you want to. There are some issues though I had with gameplay. There are some AI issues. Like sometimes the AI won't follow you, or sometimes they'll go ahead of you, sometimes they'll vanish, sometimes they'll, like, I don't know, they just do a lot of weird things sometimes that they shouldn't be doing. Long loading issues. Okay, basically every load screen can be from 10 to 40 seconds, I'd say. So what happens is you start doing these quests where, like, you'll have to keep leaving rooms. Every time you leave a room you have to load, so you'll be constantly reloading, loading, going through rooms, loading. It's pretty annoying. I didn't like that. Yeah, I think it was Oblivion. It's like if you've been in that room before, it's gonna load really fast. This game doesn't do that though. And then there's some glitches occasionally. Like I fell through the floor a couple times. I ran through some walls. Stuff like that. Nothing major though that like stopped me from progressing, I guess, but it still got annoying. Alright, so on the plus side there is a lot of content. On the downside though, there's a lot of repetitive stuff. You know, you'll go into a dungeon. Like this entire game is basically based around going into dungeons and getting items. And to me that just gets boring because you don't have the characters to back that up. Like it'd be different if you're going into these dungeons and your partner was like, "Oh, fuck off these cobwebs, I hate cobwebs and shit." Like, it'd be cool if they provided dialogue, but it's just basically go in there, kill some guys, get the item, leave the back door, you're good. It just gets a little boring to me. Alright, sound design, it's good. It fits the game. I'm not gonna listen to the soundtrack again, but it's pretty good. I might listen to the main theme again because the main theme is pretty sweet, but voice acting's good, music's good, it fits the game, but personally it's not up to my style. Okay, okay, my likes and dislikes. Graphics. Graphics are really good. Like, I usually don't talk about graphics, but this game is beautiful looking. Okay, my another like. This game is very ambitious. They're basically pushing the table forward. Every time Bethesda makes a game, they usually make a pretty big leap. And this does too. Only problem, like I was saying, is it suffers from a couple glitches and stuff, but it's pretty crazy how much content is in this game. Alright, and also I like the lore that they have. Like I was saying earlier, like with Final Fantasy and other RPGs, they basically reuse the same lore, same gods, same weapons, same monsters, same everything pretty much, and that's pretty badass. It's pretty cool hearing like Mehrunes razor, like that was a weapon in Oblivion, and then it's a weapon in this game, or like I don't know, it's cool. It's hard to explain, but I like it a lot. Alright, and then we got some dislikes. Loading issues I already mentioned. I don't know, to me I feel like I loaded way too often. AI problems, I already mentioned that. Sometimes they don't follow you, sometimes they like vanish, stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it for all my dislikes. Alright, so my overview. Skyrim is a good game. Like if you played Oblivion or Fallout, you're gonna grab this game and rape this game. It's really fun. The only problem is, like I said, the characters are pretty boring. A lot of the quests are pretty much the same. Go here, grab this, bring this back, type things. Gameplay, there are a couple glitches here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty fun. Like I said, I played it 80 hours. That's pretty good. I wasn't really bored throughout that time. Sounds pretty good, but yeah, if you loved Fallout or Oblivion, it's definitely worth a purchase, just because you'll put a lot of time into this game. Otherwise, if you're curious, just rent it. It's totally worth a rent.